So the last sentence, yeah, like, oh, so when you try to make somebody be something that they're not off of potential, when it doesn't work out, and when they break up, when you break up that person, then they become who you wanted them to be for someone else. And that's because you were not the person for them. And again, that's something that took me a while to learn too, because it's like I used to kind of be that girl where it's like, why he won't act right? He won't do this, he won't do that. But then when y'all break up, everything you want him to do for you, he end up doing it for somebody else. And that's because you were not the person that you weren't the person for him. And he didn't feel that you were worthy, even though you are worthy. But in his eyes, you weren't worth all the extra work.
Welcome to Lovely Esteem. I'm Lovely, the auntie you always wanted, the sister girlfriend you didn't know you needed, honey. You gotta have self-love to have self-esteem, and here we know that God don't make no junk. So we're gonna sit down, talk about it, and see how we can fix it, baby. Let's do it. Hey guys, this is Lovely with Lovely Esteem, and welcome back to the Healing Through Conversations podcast. Today, I get to speak to Miss Danielle Duncan. She is the founder and owner of Queens Inspire. She's a relationship coach, a voiceover actor. She's a 18-time self-published author, a spoken word artist, and she also is about to drop her own podcast called Heart to Heart with Sis, as well as I believe a second podcast that she's coming through with. She is really focusing on learning how to love yourself through your singleness. Not that she's not with regards to her being a relationship coach, she's teaching you how to be a better person for yourself so that when you start dating, you don't just take anything or trash, as she has said a couple of times. She's against dating just to date. She wants you to date with intention, and learning how to love yourself gives you a clear understanding of what that means. Because from what I hear, the streets of dating, they ain't paved, baby. They ain't paved, and some of the trees have been knocked down. So I don't know what to tell you. We're going to listen to Miss Duncan and get some good information. So enjoy the podcast. Hey guys, this is Lovely with Lovely Esteem, and welcome to the Healing Through Conversations podcast. We are going to have a good time. One, because the vibes are already high. Like, we're at a 10, and we're probably, neither one of us had sugar probably yet. So I'm just letting y'all know that it's going to be good. Today, I get to speak to Miss Danielle Duncan. She is a women's life. No, she is a women's coach, because we're gonna say she is a woman. She focuses on women. I mean, she do love y'all guys. She does. But like today, we're focusing on women. That's what we're doing. And what I love about Danielle is that she is really not reinventing, but she is kind of really polarizing what it looks like to date yourself, to learn more about yourself, to understand yourself so much more, so that when you're navigating this life of love and understanding, either platonic or intimate, you have an understanding of who you are, what your boundaries are, what your communication style looks like, the things that you do and don't like, the red flags, green flags, blue flags, and the orange flags. Because, it could be some flags out there we don't even know the colors to. And she wants you to understand that you are never too busy to take care of yourself. You are never too busy to love yourself. And you're never too busy to call her, because she's a coach. Did I tell y'all she was a women's coach? Anyway, so welcome to the podcast, Miss Danielle Duncan. Please introduce yourself.
Hey everybody. So I am Danielle Duncan. But once you get to know me and you work with me, you can call me Coach Danny, because only people that, once you tell me all your business is like, it's Danny, you know. And the long title that I have is Women's Relationship Personal Growth Coach. I have to say that real slow because I tried to say that out loud earlier and I was just messing it up. I was like, ooh, that's a mouthful. I was like, we'll say it slow. And then on the website, the whole title on there, but then you can just address me as a women's coach. And I deal with single Black women and helping them navigate through career transitions, personal growth, and attracting authentic relationships. And today we're going to focus on the relationship part. And I got a lot of gems and I'll be dropping on y'all. And I just hope that you catch all of them because it's a lot. And then after this, I want y'all to sign up for my new women's group coaching program, Empower Her. We got enrollment, spots are limited. Get on it. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna heal. We're gonna grow. All that good stuff. And I just want you to be your best self because 2025, we not doing no trash date. Okay? Like we gonna get right.
He said, I'm just letting you know up front what my expectations are. You
Yeah.
take trash out. I need you to grab a pot and collect these gems. You're gonna be running around. Okay. Okay. She said that we can't. So I just want y'all to know we had a conversation before. All right. And I had to make her stop because I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe because we hit a soft spot. Everybody have a soft spot in them. And we were having a conversation about when you do not connect with the person that you're dating. Dating. We didn't say that. No, no, no. We weren't even dating. It was an investigation. This was an investigation lunch brunch.
Right.
Okay. Okay. All right. So can you really tell us, like, just give us an understanding of what it means to date yourself, what it looks like to date yourself, and what led you here?
Okay. Well, to date yourself is well, when you get out of a relationship, you go through the sad phase of listening to sad songs and being all depressed and stuff. And then after that, you work on yourself and, go through therapy, counseling, journaling, whatever you need to do to like get your personal growth going. And then once people do that, then they're like, okay, I want to start dating. But it's like, okay, but what time did we find, what time did we actually spend by ourselves? Because healing is not really spending time by ourselves. We're just trying to like get over the relationship and the feelings that came along with it. That's completely separate. But when you're past that, you still got to know who are you after that relationship? Like, who am I? Like, what do I like? What are my goals, dreams, aspirations are? And it's like, as Black women, I feel like a lot of us, we don't sit and learn our new self. Like we became this new person through our healing and personal growth. Why not get to know who that person is first? I said at least a year. At least give yourself at least a year, to just learn who you are, this new person, get used to the new you. And then after a year, then if you feel like, okay, I think I want to start dating people now instead of dating myself. Then you go ahead and do that. So dating yourself is pretty much like how we always talk about our ideal, man or woman for people who are same sex, that you want this ideal person, but then you don't treat yourself the way that you want to be treated. Like you want this queen treatment, but then it's like, okay, do I always treat myself like queen? Do I always talk to myself? Because sometimes we don't always speak highly of ourselves. We have moments where we negative self-talk and we have negative mindsets. And it's like, and then we got to think, okay, I want somebody to say all these great things, tell me that I'm beautiful, I'm doing well, I'm gonna succeed, but then I'm telling myself the opposite, like, oh, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna do well. That business is gonna flop. And it's like, okay, but why if I gotta change it up. So I had came up with the concept of if, like for instance, I hear a lot of women say, oh, I want a man to take me shopping, get my nails done, take me on trips. Okay, but you can do that yourself. So why not start with getting your own hair and your nails done, taking yourself to the spot? If you see that new restaurant downtown, put on that dress that you bought 2 years ago and you haven't worn it yet. And you like, wait a minute, I do got now I got somewhere to wear that dress at. So put the dress on, get somebody to beat your face if you can't do it. Put them shoes on that's gonna hurt, but they cute. Doll yourself up, and then you go out and you take yourself out on a date. And it's like, and it may feel odd at first because me, like if I want to go out, I get all dolled up. I take myself out. I have had people come up to me or look at me and be like, You came here by yourself? Yeah, I did. Um, you not you don't feel odd? I'm like, why should I? I came into this world by myself. I'm gonna die by myself. So I figured I might well just go ahead and enjoy my own company. And then on top of that, I don't want to be calling people and asking them, hey, do you want to go to such and such a place? I'm already ready to go. And then they're gonna take 2, 3 hours getting ready. And by the time we get ready, by the time they're ready, then the restaurant is gonna be closed. And then I'm be mad. So that's why I'm just like, I just go by myself. I'm like, I'm ready to go. I'm dressed up. I'm finna leave right now. Because, black folks, they make up excuses every day, all day. Well, I ain't got nobody to watch the kids, or I ain't got nothing to wear, or I ain't got no money. I'm like, if you don't want to go, you just don't want to go. Okay? Like that's on you. Like I am gonna eat these burgers and fries by myself. I'm gonna try this sushi. I want some sushi. I'm gonna go and go get it. Now, if you don't want a free meal, because especially if I say I'm paying, which I don't like paying for nothing, but if I say that I'm paying,
Girl,
and you
I'm in
still
my leggings. I'm on my way out the car door. My shirt,
right,
do I have a bra on? I don't know. Did you say
right.
I'm getting a meal? I'm on my way to you. Yes, I am.
But it's like something like that. Like take yourself out to dinner. If you want to go on exotic vacation, take yourself on that vacation. Everything that you want that mate to do for you, start doing it for yourself. Start treating yourself like a queen. Start pampering yourself. That way, when you do meet the right person and they start doing all those things for you, then you're not gonna have imposter syndrome and be like, well, why they doing all this stuff for me? They something must be going on, or do I deserve this? Like you start feeling like you're not worthy of that treatment. And that's because when you don't date yourself, when you don't treat yourself well, when other people treat you good, you don't know how to receive it. And that's because you haven't given yourself that love. So it's always important to take that year off to yourself after you heal, give yourself that treatment. That way, when the person comes along, you'll be open to receiving all the love and support, and you won't second guess and feel like, do I deserve this? You be like, well, yeah, I do deserve this. I spent the whole year pampering myself, and now somebody else pamper me. Yeah, I deserve this. Like I've been waiting on this all my life. Now I can save me a couple $100. Have somebody spend all this money I've been spending on myself. I can have somebody spend it on me. So that's how you do it. And it took me a while to like learn to date myself, but you know, some people learn quicker than others, but it just as you go through life, these are just things you just learn along the way. When you start seeing you're having the same relationship patterns, you like, okay, why am I attracting all these clowns? Why do I keep going to the circus and I'm expecting Prince Charming, but I'm up here messing with, I'm trying to turn Homie the Clown into Prince Charming. It's like, why do I keep doing it? I need to stop going to the circus. So ladies, stop going to the circus. We know that we entertaining clowns, and yet we trying to like see something deeper, see that, oh, he has potential. And that's another thing. I hate when women say that, well, he has potential. And no, potential will ruin you because then you're going to be complaining about what he's not the entire time you're looking at his potential. It's like, if you want just a man, then hey, go right at it. You just want a man. But if you have a specific man or woman that you want, then make out their list. And if that person does not have everything that's on your list, we ain't going off potential, because then you're going to be miserable and you're going to try to make this person be something that they're not. And then when y'all break up, then they're going to be the person that you wanted them to be for someone else because you were not the person for them. And ouch, I know they'll probably hurt,
Girl,
but
you're gonna have to elaborate. You're gonna have to dissect that one last sentence right there.
yeah. So the last sentence, yeah, like, oh, so when you try to make somebody be something that they're not off of potential, when it doesn't work out and when they break up, when you break up that person, then they become who you wanted them to be for someone else. And that's because you were not the person for them. And again, that's something that took me a while to learn too, because it's like I used to kind of be that girl where it's like, why he won't act right? He won't do this, he won't do that. But then when y'all break up, everything you want him to do for you, he end up doing it for somebody else. And that's because you were not the person that you weren't the person for him. And he didn't feel that you were worthy, even though you are worthy. But in his eyes, you weren't worth all the extra work. So he finds somebody else who he feels is worthy all of the attention and everything that you wanted. And they don't have to ask. He just automatically, this is the person who I want to be with. So I'm going to act right for them because I want to be with them. It's all about whether you truly see yourself with that person or not. And if that person, if you have to make someone treat you right and respect you, that's not the person for you. You know, you love is not something that you have to fight hard for. You gotta fight for respect, fight for him to take you out on dates. No, like if he sees a future with you, he's gonna do all the things that he's supposed to do. You know, and if he does not see a future with you, he's gonna waste your time and gonna make up all these excuses and make us and try to gaslight you and be like, oh, you asking for too much. And no, you're not asking for too much. You want him to spend time with you. You want him to get you gifts. You want him to compliment you. It's just simple things that you ask for. It's just he's just too lazy to put in the work. But yet he has no problem trying to get some cookie from you. You know, he want to do that every day, all day. But when it comes to the actual relationship, you don't want to put in the work and invest the time in the relationship itself. You just want the physical part. And a lot of guys, like, that's what they want, just the physical. Like you don't have to put any, you don't have to put any work and effort into that. But the relationship as itself, that's where the work comes in at. And if he does not see a future with you, then he's gonna treat you like you're less than. And then you're gonna start feeling like, well, why am I not good enough? And you go down this road of I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. And the truth is you are good enough. Is you got to flip it and be like he's not good enough for you because the fact that he can't put forth the effort to treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. And in 9 times out of 10, the women that they do end up giving queen treatment to usually be trash women that like spend all their money, that don't appreciate them, lying, cheating on them, and then they just miserable. And it's like, I'm doing all this stuff for her, and it's this thing called karma. You have a good woman, and you don't want to do it right. You dog her out. You give somebody who you think that's so much better, and life will show you, oh yeah, she looks good. She's beautiful. She has body is wild, but that's it. You know, like there's nothing there, and then you feel like you're stuck and then you want to go back to the good girl, but you can't because then she already got her Russell Wilson, you know. So ladies, like, do not settle. A man, he will tell you sometimes without actually telling you that you're not the one. Sometimes he'll tell you up front, other times he'll show you through his actions. So you gotta pay attention to the signs, as Lovely was saying earlier, with the flags, you know, red flags, blue flags, green flags. We see them. They're not decorations. We look at them and think, oh, these are decorations. No, like
it's potential.
right. And that potential, it could be red, blue, green. Sometimes it may come in pink. You like, oh, it's a pretty flag. Potential. Oh, potential. And it's like, no, no. Potential is going to waste your time. You're going to be angry and frustrated, and then your edge is going to come out. And like, and don't nobody want to lose their edges. Because once you lose them, they're gone. Take a while for them to grow back. You know, so it's like, don't do that to yourself. Don't lose edges and have your skin break out and all this unnecessary stress over somebody who has shown you time and time again that you're not the one. And it's gonna hurt, you know, and you have to have those like honest conversations with yourself and be like, okay, it was obvious. I'm not the person for him, but that's okay. And then you got to look at it as I dodged a bullet. He just made room for the right person to come into my life. And once you dealt with somebody like that, the next person that you get in a relationship with, you got to set boundaries. You're gonna have people who are gonna make you feel like your boundaries are too much, and then you start like lowering your standards. Like I remember I had a friend I grew up with. She used to always tell me my standards are too high. Your standards are too high. You need to lower your standards. Like you give up on people too easily. And I'm all like, if I give somebody 5 chances and you did the same thing you did the last 4 times, how many chances am I supposed to keep giving you? Like, and now as I'm getting older, like I'm in my mid 40s, you get one chance. And after that one chance, like that's it. Because I'm like, why give you a second chance? You're just gonna turn around and do the exact same thing again. So that's just me. But I mean, if you want to give someone multiple chances, you can. Me, I just like don't have patience like that anymore. And I just feel like once you show me who you are, I believe you, and I'm just like, I'm not even gonna waste any more time. So, but yeah, but she told me that I need to lower my standards, that I'm asking for too much. I need to go with the flow, and when you go to the flow, you end up in a situationship
You wind up on
where,
the floor. That's what you
yeah,
wind up. You go with the flow, wind up on the floor.
yeah, you wind up on the floor when you go with the flow. And it does not turn into a relationship. And you look up 2, 3 years later, you're still in the talking stage. And I feel like we too old to be in a talking stage.
But let's
If
talk about this because you said
Mhm,
when you got on a date,
mhm,
you're very honest with people up
right.
front.
Hmm.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So when I go on dates with people, if I'm not feeling it, I am not gonna force myself to like pursue something with this person. Like I give them a chance, and something inside of me is like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. Nah, I don't want to see him again. I definitely don't want to see him again. And at the end of the day, when he asks, I will say, well, um, had a great time, but I do not see a future with you. And 9 times out of 10, he starts getting very emotional. Why? How come? I don't understand. What did I do wrong? And I was like, I just wasn't feeling it. There's no spark. There's
Mm-hmm.
no chemistry, no connection. It's like I believe that when you meet somebody, you have to have that spark, that chemistry, that electricity, that fire. If you don't feel it, that's like when you listen to a song by your favorite artist. And I know I had artists who I love, and they'll come out with a new song, and I'm like, or a new album, and I'm like, this album is this album is trash. I love this person, but this is not their best work. And you try to convince yourself this album is so dope. No, it's not. It's like because you like the person, you're trying to convince yourself you like it, but it's like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not
I
feeling
like
it.
that
I'm a
one song, I like number 7, but I like number 7, like right at like 2:13. Its song
right,
get great. It get great. It's like how you had to go that far in.
right.
Yeah, I had to
Or
go that
sometimes
far
it
in.
takes too long for the song to build up. So then you fast forward or you just skip it all together. You like, it's taking too long for this song to build up. I need y'all to go right into it. But that's how it is with dating. It's like I would be upfront and the guy would get all upset. And I'm like, okay, do you want me to be honest? Or do you want me to be like, yeah, we can go out next week, and then I'll block you the minute that I get in my car. And then you're calling and texting me and wondering why you can't, reach out to me. Like, that's me. I had it done to me. I did it a few times. Like, if I feel like the guy just won't get it, but I just feel like it's better just to be upfront with people. Like, if you're not feeling them, I mean, you're gonna get hurt either way it go, whether you tell them the truth or if you block them and run from them. That person is still gonna be hurt either way. But when you tell a person up front, they'll be hurt, but then they'll get over it. They'll get over it a lot quicker versus when you ghost them, Then they're gonna be wondering, what did I do? Like, I don't understand what happened. I thought we had a good time. So like just be upfront with people. And if they can't respect it, just be like, okay, oh well, I told you. And it will be times where I would try to be nice. And then sometimes they want to get you out of character when they just beg and beg it. And I'm like, I'm gonna need you to stop begging. Cause like that is so unattractive. I already am not attracted to you. Okay. I already don't have chemistry with you. But when you start begging, it does not turn me on at all. Like it just turn me off even more. Like I don't want to go nowhere with you. And then they'll be like, well, what if we go out again? Why we need to go out again? It's like you're not gonna change my mind at all. Like I don't want to go nowhere with you. I don't want to go around the corner with you. I don't even want to go to McDonald's and get fries with you. Okay. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get no fries at McDonald's. It's just that deep that I don't see nothing. I don't see a future. I don't see us getting no nuggets, nothing at all. I don't see us going around the corner, Dairy Queen, nothing. Okay. Just let it go. Just let it go. It's okay. And don't be calling me on my name either. I hate when they do that too. And I'm just like, see, I already don't like you. But then you go try to insult me. I'm all like, come on, let's be mature. Like, let it go.
let it go. That's what they had said.
Yes.
So what are some of the toxic beliefs that you like have heard in the Black community with regards to dating, and that that people really need to unpack in order to even entertain being in a relationship with someone?
Oh, I would have to say for one, settling, knowing that if you have like an ideal person and you know that this person doesn't have everything on your list, the fact that you're like, okay, well, they don't have everything, but they'll do, like, that's not gonna work. Or you're telling someone up front, this is what I'm looking for. And then when you ask them in return, what are you looking for? Well, I just want to see where things go. No, I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you that. I asked you, or what is the point of you dating? Like, are you dating to find your mate and get married, or you just want to smash a whole bunch of random people, or you just want to have fun. But now people want to be like, oh, I just want to have fun. But we too old to be having fun. That's what high school and college was having fun. And it's just like you start getting in your 40s and your 50s and you're still in the fun stage. It's like go to an amusement park if you want to have fun. It's like people are not meant to be playthings and have fun with. You have people out here who want to genuinely be in relationships. And a lot of women feel like they have to be in these situationships, meaning having sex with somebody and hoping that it turns into a relationship. And some people, when they have sexual relationships, it turns into something real. I don't see how. It's never worked for me, but it worked for other people, but to each his own. But I just feel like if someone can't give you a straight answer when you ask them, are you looking for a relationship? Yes or no. Is not rocket science. You either are or you're not. There is no in between. And if you want to just sleep with somebody, that's what the bar is for. You can find plenty of females who just want just that. They don't want anything serious. But then you have these women who want serious relationships and they settle and they're being told, oh, well, if you ask for a relation, if you say you want a relationship, you're scaring him off. You're running him off. Don't tell him what you want. Just go with the flow. Don't say anything about relationship. Don't say anything about dating. Just see how everything goes. And when you do that, you're compromising what it is that you truly want and desire. Like if you know you want to be married, you want to be with one person and one person only, and this person doesn't, then don't even waste your time with them. And then also, um, the fact that men feel like they have to date someone a couple of times to see if they're the one, it does not take weeks, months, years for a man to decide if he want to be with you or not. Like he knows from the first date whether he want to see you again or not, whether he sees a future with you or not. Just like how you know, he knows. So that's another toxic notion that, oh, well, if he says I need time, he don't need no time. Like if it takes him weeks, months, years to be in a relationship with you, or if you're in a relationship and it takes him years to give you a ring. And if he does give you a ring, then you're a fiance for like 10, 20 years. What are we doing? Like, if he wanted, first of all, if he wanted to marry you, then it doesn't take 10, 20 years to plan a wedding. Just have a small, intimate setting. And then that's it. And save the money for the honeymoon. Don't splurge and spend all this money on this big ceremony. And then if it don't work out, then you've been and wasted 10, 20 grand on a ceremony. And you're not even thinking about the marriage itself. It's like it's some people, I feel like I've been to weddings that have been productions. Whereas like there was one wedding I went to that was ghetto. The chicken was dry, but it had gravy on it. And I'm all like, how you have smothered chicken and it's dry? I didn't understand it. And then the cake fell apart before I even put my fork in it. It's crumbling. How's the cake crumbling? And then they didn't have any servers, so the guest served the food. And I was like, this is the most ghetto wedding ever. But the bride and groom were really happy and they're still married to this day. Then I went to another wedding. It was a big production, and the girl that I knew, she was an AKA, and AKAs, everything with them is like extravagant, you know. And so, nice big wedding. It was like the backdrop was like the ocean with ships passing by and stuff. And that marriage did not last long. I think it lasted less than a year. But her next husband, like they didn't even have a big wedding. And then he looked like a grown man versus the first guy, he looked like he was 12. So I was just like, where did we get this dude from? And then he just disappeared. But the next guy she got with, I'm like, oh, you got you a full-fledged grown man. Grown. Okay. And they're still married to this day. They didn't have a big extravagant wedding. I think they just had an intimate ceremony and that's it. So that just goes to show that, when you want to marry somebody, it's not about the ceremony. It's about the union itself. Because, having a ceremony, that's the easy part. But like staying married and trying not to choke nobody out, that's the hard part, you
Listen,
know.
listen. I've been with my husband for 35. He know I'm messing up. 35 years. I've known him for 35. Shit. One of the two, three, four, five. I've been 35-ish.
It's been over a decade.
It's been a lot, right? And we've been married 20 plus years of that because we started dating when we were 13 and 14.
Oh,
I wasn't even, girl, I wasn't even developed. I mean, for real, mentally. Like,
yeah.
let's just talk about mentally, right? And I always think to myself, like, we've made it this long, but baby, it's not been pretty. Like, if you followed us around for the first half of this marriage, you'd be like, why are y'all together? Like,
Right.
listen, I'm not saying that you got to settle. I'm not saying that it's easy or not easy. Just saying you got to figure out what works best for you. And that's what I like that you are doing, Danielle. I like the fact that you were like, hey, these are the things that you need to learn so that you love you so much. You value you so much. You build
Right.
so much confidence. You're working on your self-esteem. You understand what your self-worth looks like. Then when somebody comes along, you guys will connect through what works well for you guys, not what I'm telling you to do, because what makes me happy won't be what makes my client happy. I
Right.
may be thinking to myself, you sure that's what's going to make you happy? Oh, I'm judgment free. I'm sorry. I should have said it. I know I said it, but yeah.
Right.
But can you talk about how a lot of the times how we sabotage ourselves into being in a relationship because we don't know how to like break free of these cycles that we are perpetuating so many times?
Yeah, and it all comes from like many factors like um friends who be in toxic relationships, and because they settle and they see that you have standards, they're telling you don't have standards, don't speak up for yourself, don't, if something bothers you, don't say anything, brush it under the rug, you don't want to run them off. It's always you're going to run them off. And I feel like if I run someone off, then he wasn't the person for me anyway. Because if the person is the right person, you can't run the right person off. You can't run someone off that wants to be there. Like if it's so easy for you to run because I'm bringing an issue to you and saying, hey, I don't like when you talk to me like that. Or I don't like when you go days and weeks without calling me, or you don't plan dates. I feel like I'm putting in all the effort. Like you expressing what you want. If me being honest and saying these are the things that I need to feel comfortable in this relationship, if that runs you off, then we don't need to be together because I'm not gonna, why should I have to hold my tongue back and compromise what I truly want and the type of relationship that makes me happy? So I won't step on your toes. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, if you want somebody that's stupid, go get you a dumb chick. Like that's not me. And I had to, and like I said, and I had to look at that friend. She's an ex friend now. I had to look at her relationship patterns, and I'm like, she didn't have the best relationships herself. So her giving me relationship advice telling me to not have standards and boundaries. And I'm all like, and be like you and let men just walk all over me. No, I'm good. It's like I'm going to speak up for myself. Cause I had times where I remember one time it was this one comedian that I went on a date with. He was like flirt with me for like years. And he was in my inbox. He's like, I always had a crush on you, always had a thing for you. And this when I used to do poetry and when you're in the arts, like you realize I had so many male groupies, it was ridiculous. Like I felt like a superstar. Like it was like dudes, like I felt like they were throwing their invisible panties at me. And I was like, I never got this much attention from guys before. Like I in school I had attention, but this is like a whole nother level. And I didn't know how to take it. And so I felt like they got more caught up in like the fame and the persona of
Mm-hmm.
me being a poet versus me being Danny the person. Like
Mm-hmm.
they got caught up in the superstar, like, oh, I just want to say that I had her. That's it.
Yeah.
They never really got a chance to really know me like outside the stage, and that's the thing that like really that's why it was so hard to date, when I was a spoken word artist, because you didn't know whether people like you for you or it's because they're trying to get something from you. And so he was talking all this stuff and we went out on a date. It was a lot of red flags before we went out. It was like he said something and I called him out on it. And then he just started screaming and yelling at me. He was like, see, it's stuff like that. You go run dudes off. And I'm just like,
Mm.
I'm gonna run dudes off. And I was like, cause I caught you on something. So then I started thinking, oh, maybe I'm tripping. And so I like back down on what I said. And then and I didn't realize at that moment he kept gaslighting me. Every time I called him out on something, he kept gaslighting me. And then when we went out, he was 45 minutes late on the date. I should have left after 15 minutes. I'm like, give you 15 minutes after that, I'm going. But I was about to leave. And then the minute that I called, I was like, I'm about to leave because I've been here for 45 minutes. The minute that I called, he come walking up the steps. And then when I think about it, I think that he was sitting in his car for 45 minutes and he was just waiting to see how long that I was going to wait on him. So he was already there. He was just trying to act like
Mm.
it was a test. But
Yeah.
I didn't think about it then, but now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, he was testing me. He showed up late. He already got there and he showed up late on purpose to test me to see if I was gonna stay. And then when he came, he had an edible. So I smelled it on his breath. His face looked greasy, so he did not wash his face. I don't think he washed his ass either. Like he just looked like he just rolled out of bed, had some gym clothes on. And I'm just like, you asked me out on a date. And I see when you do your shows, you got a fresh cut, you know, face is all nice and everything clean. And then you just like show up like you don't care. So that kind of just made me feel like, oh, okay, you said you like me so much. Why aren't you more presentable?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you clean yourself up? You're like, you're not even trying to impress me. Like, it kind of made me feel like, oh, well, she just so and
I
so.
got it now. I already got
Yeah,
her.
yeah, I already got it. So I ain't got to shave. I ain't got to do this and do that and da da da. And then try to kiss on me. And I'm like, first of all, you had an edible. You smell like tobacco. There is no way that I want to kiss you with your greasy face. So no, and then we trying to find some place to eat it. And then we did find some place to eat. And then while we were eating, like he was like, well, he wanted to take me to some place. This was like during COVID. So not a lot of places were open. And he wanted to take me to some like fancy restaurant. And I'm thinking, you're not even, first of all, how you gonna talk about taking me to a 5-star restaurant? You don't even look 5-star yourself. Like you had an edible, you came with your gym clothes on and some flip-flops, and you talk about, oh, I deserve to be taken to a 5-star restaurant. I was like, you don't even look like you care about yourself at this moment. So how you go? And then I told him, I said, I'm more of a burger and cheese. I'm more of a burger and fries girl anyway. And he was like, well, no, no, you deserve more than that. And I'm all like, well, how you gonna say that? But look at how you showed up.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say I deserve a 5-star, even though I do, but you didn't show up with 5-star energy.
Mm.
So if you want to take me to a 5-star, you need to have 5-star energy. You should have came with suit on, and took me to a nice restaurant, showed up on time. Give me 5-star energy. Don't say I deserve 5-star and you not give me 2-star energy, you know. And so I don't know where we had went to eat, but we went there, then we was in the car, and then women kept calling him. And he was just like, oh, this is just somebody that want tickets to the show. It's another red flag. If we're on a date, I'm all like, I'm a busy person. I don't say yes to everybody. Back then, I didn't say yes to everybody. I was very selective with who I gave my time to. If I give you my time, people are calling me too, blowing up my phone. But guess what? I turn my phone on silence. You know, I don't look at my phone when I'm spending time with you. I expect you to do the same thing. And you're like, they want tickets. Okay, you can respond to them tomorrow. Them tickets ain't going nowhere. Okay. So, but that was the excuse, but it was just disrespect all the way around. And I kept allowing it because of who he was, because he was a big
Mm.
name. And sometimes someone's title, you know, or how much money they have, we allow the disrespect and feel like, oh, because of who they are, we're going to make an exception. Even though it shouldn't even matter who they are. It's like, if this person is being disrespectful, they're not honoring you the way you should be honored, then you should be able to check them. And he had a problem with me checking him, was trying to like kiss on me. And I was like, no, we're not even going that far. No. Then he asked me to go to his show, and I came, and he treated me like he didn't even know who I was.
Mm.
And I'm like, there's another red flag. Like I show up, and he's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, how you doing? And I'm like, you just told me to come, and I got all queued up, and you go treat me like I'm a customer. And I'm just and in the back of my mind, I'm like, why am I putting up with this? Like, why? This man is constantly disrespecting me over and over again. And I just keep on making up excuses in my mind. I'm like, why? And then the last straw was some girl ran up on stage at the end, slammed him up against the wall, and then he just started dry humping her along with two other comedians, and they all just dry humping her. And after that, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I, I, this is the utmost disrespect. You asked me to come, you ignore me, and then you up here gyrating on another girl in front of me. And you suppose he supposed to like me so much. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm done. So I stormed off, left, didn't hear anything from him until 4 hours later. And then he's like, then he texts me, you was looking real good today. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
you like you was having such a ball with old girl grinding you up on the wall. And he's like, yeah, I was mad about that. You was mad about that? You look like you was actually having a good time. I didn't see that you was mad. And then after that, he was like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. And I don't think I said nothing to him. I just blocked him. And then he started liking all my pictures on Instagram. And then I blocked him on there too. And then he created a fake profile. So
oh.
he could keep looking at me on there. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to have to cuss you out. Cause I was like, I'd rather just ghost you. And then a few years later, I had moved to South Carolina and he didn't know what part I moved to. I was in Columbia and I looked on Eventbrite. He had a show in Greenville. So I'm just like, what is he doing in Greenville? Like, I'm from St. Louis. So he was in St. Louis. I'm like, how did someone from Greenville, South Carolina, reach out to a comedian in St. Louis? And I'm just like, did they reach out to him or did he think that I was there? And so I put two and two together and I knew that he was following me on my Instagram page. So I did a live and I didn't say his name, but I called him out. I said, yeah, I said, you know what? It was just one comedian that I used to talk to. And I looked and saw that he has a show in Greenville, South Carolina. And I live in South Carolina. So if you're looking, don't think for 1 second that you're gonna come do a show, hit me up, thinking you're gonna smash me, and then go back to St. Louis and tell everybody that you had me, and then I'll never hear from you ever again. If that's what you think that's gonna happen, you keep your ass where you at. Okay. And after that, I didn't hear nothing else from him. It was just silence. But that was the plan. Like he just thought, oh, I'm gonna do a show there. Danny, she in South Carolina. I'm gonna hit her up, and we go kick it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and smash. And after that, then I'm gonna tell everybody, yeah, I smashed Danny. Yeah, I smashed her. You ain't gonna have the luxury of telling people that you had me. I'm sorry, you're not. Because I'm like, you already showed me time and time again you trash. And then I heard from other women that he's trash too. And then his little member is like this.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So,
so I dodged
it
a
wasn't a
little bullet.
bullet. It wasn't a bullet. It wasn't a bullet.
It was a pellet. I
Okay.
dodged a pellet. You
But that,
know.
that
So
seems like that seems like that's what set you on this path. This is what
yeah.
really helped you start to understand yourself more. I mean, because we always in retrospect, right? Hindsight 2020. We're like, oh my God, why would I do that? But when you're going through it, you're trying to figure out how to break through some of the stigmas that are attached to our community. You're being
Right.
conceited.
Mhm.
You want too much. You need to humble yourself.
Right.
You think you all that. Don't don't even get into the dysphoric way that skin color plays a part in our community, right?
Right.
And having to
Light
listen
skin. Yeah.
and listening to that part and having that be pinned against us instead of us as women understanding that, like, if he trash me, he gonna trash you. I'm not
Mhm.
even, if he likes you and he doesn't like me, that's cool, that's very different.
Right.
But when he's trashing multiple people, he don't care about the complexion, the hair type, job titles. He could care less. It's how many
Right.
people, and that could be vice. It could be a woman doing the same thing. Like, we're
Mhm.
not alienating anybody, right?
Right.
Like, a trash person is a trash person,
Right.
period, right? But
Right.
like, that's where I think the wonderful part of being a relationship coach kind of kicks in, because you have to have, it's like any other career, you have to have some hindsight, you have to have some wisdom, and some
Yeah.
experience to go through that. And that's where you kind of step in and like, hey, listen, if I'm telling you about a particular situation, I've been through it.
Right.
I failed. We talked about it last time. We had knee pads on, elbow pads, maybe
Yeah.
even a helmet because we felt so hard.
Yeah.
But this is how, like, this is you being able to give back and say, hey, ladies, we're different. And like you said, we're in our 40s now.
Right.
How much longer it's going to take you to realize you like somebody? Y'all in a nursing home together?
Exactly. Like it doesn't take long, from the jump. Like after, sometimes even before the date is over, you already know, no, I'm not gonna see that person no more. I don't like them. Even as women, like I will admit, I don't know if I ever admitted this out loud before, but if I am going to today. There have been times where I went on dates with guys and I'm like, can I see myself smashing him? And I'm like, nah, I can't. And then other times, yeah, I can't. So I mean,
That's
if you
truth. That's honesty because the notion that women, I always say, if you say, give me my cell phone, I would give you my cell phone. But I would block my sister circle conversation because we wild up in that circle. That circle wild, okay? Like, don't make the assumption that because we're women, we're having dainty conversations about tea.
nah, not
No,
all.
we thinking the same thing y'all thinking. We just been taught that we gotta like present it a different way.
Yeah, we have to like,
Be a little
preserve
dainty,
ourselves,
look,
young
look
and
ladylike.
yeah, ladylike and stuff, but yeah, behind all that, yeah, we just as filthy as the men are.
We
We
really
just
are
good at
sitting across
hiding
the
it.
table thinking to ourselves, so what them arms do? Wait a minute. That's some nice
Right.
hands. You got nice hands. Let me
Yeah,
see
and then if he talking, like, look at his lips, like,
them. Are
look at
those
that
fingers
lip.
groomed? Or they nasty? Is it? What kind of job
Right.
do you have? Are you a mechanic? Oh, you pick up heavy stuff. Nice.
Right. Like, why his hands so ashy? He didn't put no lotion on that. See, can't do nothing with that. Ashy hands. No, no.
But that's why you got to ask what the occupation is. Be like, oh, you're a mechanic. Okay, so you be using that lever 2000. Because that lever
Hmm.
2000 to take all the skin off your fingertips.
Right.
I appreciate you was trying to get the black from out the inside of your nails. Thank you. That was so kind of you.
Right.
What's the highest weight you ever lifted? Am I too heavy? I'm just asking for my friends.
Right.
So, but no, I think that that's the beautiful part of what you're trying to do is like, hey, I've been like, I'm not talking to you in a demeaning way. I'm not like, hey, you ladies, you're dating bad people. No, I've dated the bad person. I've been the girl who was out looking for love in all the wrong places. And now I want to tell you, this is a way for you to not do that
Yeah.
do yourself. So how can clients reach out to you? How can they find you to get the info?
Well, they can follow me on Instagram. I'm mostly on there at Danny Speaks Truth, and it's DANI Speaks Truth all together. And then on Facebook, I don't. I guess it's Danielle Duncan on Facebook because I was trying to find out what like my username was on there. I have no idea what it is. Just it's a million to me. So you're gonna see a picture of me with a pink suit on. Like that's me. That's the Danielle Duncan. Because you go see some white Danielle Duncans too. I didn't realize how many Danielle Duncans it was. Like, oh gosh. I'm
There's
like,
a lot of you out there. There's
yeah,
a lot, different versions.
yeah, different versions of me. And people like when I used to go on interviews, I feel like people would think they would picture me being a white girl, really tall, with like dark, straight, blonde, brown hair, blue eyes, and it's like real lanky, tall, lanky, like a supermodel, Danielle Duncan. When I come into a room, you see like this black woman, with curly hair, and she's like, medium, slim, thick, and it's like, hi, Danielle. Yes.
Did you read my resume? Because it's on
Oh,
my resume.
Yeah, because they look shocked. I'm like, oh, you was expecting a Becky to come in here. Okay. And you like, and she went to Benedict College. And I'm like, yes, it's a HBCU. I did not go to Harvard. Yeah. So I was like, but it has been some white people that went to my college, which I'm still it was one that actually graduated. I saw on LinkedIn. I looked and she had like Benedict College in the background. I'm like, wait a minute. And I clicked on it. I'm like, she grad. They got white people going there now?
Yep, HBCU. And because I'm in Maryland and Morgan State is the HBCU.
Yeah.
And it had the climate has changed. It's way
Yeah.
more inclusive. But you know what? I had to realize I was like, you know what? That makes sense. If you are a university and you're trying to well, I don't know about the federal money now because the federal money don't belong to nobody no more. But back in the day, back in 2014, the no, maybe 2024 even. In 2024, the federal money belonged to somebody's college, but they're trying to get that money, so it's like diversified a lot of the universities, which is fine. That's fine. Like that's not what we're looking for. But you're also on LinkedIn.
Yes. LinkedIn, Danielle Duncan. And then I have a page on there, Root and Revive Life Coaching Services, has like all my coaching content, all my um, services that I offered. I just added like all my packages on there. So when you go on there, you can click on um, booking a discovery call or like the group coaching, like anything that I have is like all lined up. And then I have TikTok, but I don't be on there because it's retarded. I don't understand how to use TikTok at all. My homegirl is on there. She's like, you should be on TikTok. I was like, I don't even. I post stuff and it's like it don't get any views. So I'm like, I'm just gonna leave the account open. I'm just not gonna go post nothing else. So and then
TikTok will let you get used to rejection. TikTok
yeah.
and Instagram will let you know. Like if you didn't have a good Instagram page from back in the day,
Mhm.
it will let you know how many people care about you. It really will. It really will. You'd be like,
Right. And she the only person that followed me. So I was just like, you know what? And she shared my stuff too, but I was just like, I mean, but that's just one person. I was like, okay, I need some more people to come in because I have some good stuff. So, but yeah, I have a YouTube channel as well. I started it last year. So, I have a few meditation videos on there that I made, and then some of my coaching. I'm gonna put some more coaching stuff on there, like promos, and then I'm gradually getting back into my poetry because I had decided to turn all my signature poems. At first, I was gonna do like one book and have like short, little mini short stories on my
mm-hmm.
poems. But then I was like, you know what? Why don't I just do like full on novels of like
Mm.
all my poems, like turn it into an entire story? So I picked out 10 of my top signature poems, like Love, a few erotica pieces, and they are full on stories. So it's going to be an anthology of 10 books. The first two are coming out this year. One is coming out next month on the 4th. The other one is September the 4th. So April and September every year, we're going to do 2 volumes. The first one is Mr. Saxman. And that's a poem. That's the first poem I did to music. And
Mm.
it was this sax player that I was like dating for a minute, found out that he was trash. And the poem basically is about him, what a hoe he was. And it'll be one of my best pieces. And so I'm all like, why not turn it into a whole story and make some money off of,
Look,
And
you have to
so
come. You know you're gonna have to come back when the book come out. You know you're gonna have to come back
yeah.
with the author, Danielle Duncan, the author, the exclusive on how the sax man saxes slow. Yes.
Right. And so so that's volume one. And then volume two is I See Him. And that's another poem. But the thing with that is the original poem is about, breaking up with somebody and then going through what we were talking about earlier, like going through the healing phase, trying to get past them. But in the book, it's a complete opposite. It's she had a good relationship with a guy. He was her soulmate, and then one day, like they got engaged, he died in his sleep, just
Mm.
suddenly. And but the emotions are still there, like her trying to move forward and like get past, like trying to heal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so the book is it's like the same concept, but it's different versus I see him as like he wasn't a good guy and it ended. Whereas in the book, he was a good guy, but he passed away.
Yeah.
So that's more of like a love story. And
Yeah.
then like the other books are like, you know, there's one called Brown Sugar Skin where like this girl meets this guy in college. So I have that set up. And then I just did and I decided I'm gonna put visuals along with all these books. Like with I haven't done one for Mr. Saxman yet because I'm still trying to figure out how that visual is gonna go. But I do
Mm-hmm.
have a visual for I See Him. I just dropped that. I do it like on Sunday, so I just dropped it on Sunday, and I set it up to where I had did like a AI, and like I'll type in AI on Canva and be like, I want my scene to be such and such a thing. So I have the scene set up uh where it's an open mic in college, you know, and the girl has a shirt that says Benedict College. That's where I went to Benedict. And when you see the video, you're gonna see the girl with the mic, and then I'm doing like the poem, and everybody is in the background doing the open mic so we can get like the feeling. I wish I would have put finger snaps in there at the
Oh, that
end.
would have been
I didn't even
good.
think about it. Like I should have did it. But in the beginning, I do have people clap and
Okay.
cheer, you know, before the music and me doing my poem comes on. And the week before that, the first poem that I did a visual to was called Come Over. And that's part of the Love Sessions anthology. And it's me driving home and there's this guy that I was seeing and I want to see him, but then I'm debating on should I go over there? Should I come over? And that was based on a true story. There's a poem that I wrote like years ago for a show that I had did. And I forgot that I had that poem. And I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and turn into a story too. So that's it. I don't know what volume that's in,
Mm-hmm.
but that was the first visual. And then I see him. And then I just did another visual. But this new poem that I wrote is not in the anthology. It's just a standalone poem. It's called Tattoos. And I have it where this guy and this girl, like they're a couple, and they're like sitting in the living room. And he's like all tatted up with his shirt off, and he has like, you know, tattoos on his arms, on his chest, and she has a butterfly tattoo. Like with me, I was trying to do it like with with mine. I couldn't get it like this, so that they had to put the tattoo here, and I was like, well, okay, fine. I'm like, I was trying to get them to do it on the arm like mine, but I'm like, every time I typed it in, they kept putting the tattoos in different places. So I was like, well, it's a
This way,
butterfly.
she got a tattoo.
She
Okay.
got it, you know. And the guy had to be dark skinned because I like chocolate. I kept saying chocolate man. They gave me every man but a dark skinned man. I had an Asian man that was cross eyed. Then I had a white man. And I was like, I said dark skinned, chocolate, dark skin. I kept having to
Tweak
retype
it.
it, and then
Yeah.
they finally gave me a chocolate man, and I was like, thank you. Okay, give me somebody that I would actually be attracted to. I'm trying to make this as realistic as possible, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the new visual, but I kind of feel like I I don't think I could turn that into a story because I don't know how I would stretch that out. So it's just gonna be just the poem itself. So I'm gonna have my poems on my YouTube channel as well. So anybody that likes spoken word, that's on there along with the coaches. So I'm a, I guess I'm a spoken coaching.
You're
Like,
smoking coaching. But also, let's talk about heart to heart.
yes, Heart to Heart with Sis. That is one of my podcasts that's going to be coming out this fall. So I had two podcasts. One of them I completely forgot about because I had was it Sisterly Vibes, a Black Woman podcast. That was the original podcast I did it. I had, and I forgot about it. And then I created Heart to Heart with Sis. And then when I look back at my notes, I was like, oh, I completely forgot about this one. Then I was debating on should I just do Heart to Heart first, do a couple of seasons, and then after that, then go into the other one, or maybe I should just do both, but do them on different days, and it'd be like different concepts. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and just do both. So I decided we're gonna do Sisterly Vibes on Mondays. Both of them go premiere September the same week. Sisterly Vibes is gonna be on Mondays. That's gonna be more of the laid back show. We're talking about pop culture, like dating stuff back in the day. So for a little bit more fun. And then Heart to Heart with Sis is gonna be more of the relationship coach side. Like you'll get to see me talking about topics with personal growth and dating. And then the other show is gonna be you'll get to see Danny like on Mondays, and then on Wednesdays is gonna be the relationship coach. So you give both sides. That way, the people who want the more fun, upbeat Danny, you can tune in. I want you to tune in on both,
Yeah.
but
That's it.
you
That's
get to,
it. That's the end. We want you to tune in on both.
yeah, tune in on both, you know,
You're gonna
because
learn something either way.
yeah, you're gonna learn something either way. And we're still gonna have some fun moments in Heart to Heart with Sis as well, you know. So it ain't gonna be too serious all the time.
See, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, one of the things that I love about coaching is that there's always a pivot. There's always a rebuild. There's always a way for you to be able to infuse your personality. And I think when you infuse your personality into your coaching, it makes you so much more relatable because you're authentically you. You aren't
Yeah.
trying to like figure out how to be this professional upstand. I'm like, listen, I'm not Oprah. I don't have it in me. Okay. A
Right.
curse word gonna slip out. And then I'm gonna look at
Yeah.
you and you're gonna look at me. And then I'm gonna look at you and I'm gonna see if your face crunch up. If it don't, mm, mm, okay.
Right. Cause
You know?
yeah, because I'll try to like cause that's why I felt like I've been the past 4 years when I got into coaching, like I stopped being Danny and
Mm-hmm.
start being Danielle. And I felt like, okay, now I can't cuss and be, you know, vulgar like I was when I was a spoken word artist. I had to like
Listen, that's what we want.
clean, you know, but it's hard because it's like it's moments where like I was talking to somebody earlier where I was talking about the dating. And when I do my post, I really want to say this dating game is trash.
And I think
Like
you
I
should.
really want to say that,
It
but
is.
I end up saying the opposite. Like, well, this is what we do. Like I get the LinkedIn professional answer instead of like the Danny homegirl from St. Louis
Instead of the
answer.
Instagram
Like,
answer, the
yeah,
Instagram
instead
will
of the
be this is
Instagram answer,
trash.
like, look, this is trash, but this is what we go do here. This is how we gonna make the pivot. Like we don't have to participate. We don't have to roll around the trash. We don't have to keep going to the circus and entertaining clowns, you know. I'm I'm getting confirmation from people that being your true authentic self. Even when I go on LinkedIn, now I see posts where coaches be like cussing, and then I even see Instagram, and I'm like, well, dang, and then like Tony Robbins, like I also watched the special that he did. He dropped so many F bombs. I was like, oh wow, you can cuss? You can
What
still
happened? What happened? I just wait a minute because they said no on the LinkedIn. And I will be honest with you, I think that is it's so interesting because LinkedIn used to feel so 1994 corporate.
yeah,
You
it
know what I
did.
mean? And I think
Yeah.
that the younger the audience gets, the more authentic they are. They're
Yeah.
trying, I mean, yes, you need a job, but I always tell people, I'm like, I can be holy or I can be ratchet. I can be holy ratchet. Like it's just
Right.
a different genre of music. You know, it's like Kurt Franklin, but maybe Glorilla came in. Like maybe, I don't know.
Right.
Like it just depends. If Cardi B dropped a gospel song, would she be able to hold back a curse word? Like oh, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I just
Right.
you know, so like that's where I'm always trying to figure out how to pull out the most authentic person that I am. And I think that that's who you're gonna connect with because when you're out in the streets trying to date, you want your homegirl, your sister girlfriend to tell you, like, nah, son, this ain't gonna work out. Get in your car, or I'm
Right.
in my car. I'm outside. Just come out.
Right.
No, seriously, like this date is over. We you done. Like
Right.
I
Like
am
I'm
that
gonna
person.
do a fake phone call, be like, your cat in the hospital, even though I don't have a cat. And be like, you gotta hurry up. Oh, okay. Fluffy's in the hospital. I gotta go.
See,
He had a stroke. Yeah, it's like
you
really
know what?
bad. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me know how that goes. Okay.
Like
Bye.
waitress, here's my
Right.
money. Because I don't want nobody to tell me that this date was 50-50. You go. Here's your
Right.
tip. Because I don't think you're gonna get a tip. He said he wasn't tipping nobody at this table, just so you know. My bad. Like that's
Right.
you know, and but that's really what I love about that. So again, everybody can reach you on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and we thank Facebook, but I feel like let's go with LinkedIn, Instagram.
Yeah.
Let's go with that because she said on Facebook I'm under.
Yeah, Danielle Duncan. Or my website, Queens
Yes,
Inspire LLC. My website got everything. Like I got my books on there, coaching program, how I got started from spoken word artist, how I got into coaching.
and were you a voiceover actor?
Yeah, I just started doing voiceover work. So like that, I'm tapping into that now. I've been, I auditioned for a couple of things, but haven't gotten anything yet. But hopefully, fingers crossed, I get something soon. But yeah, that's something I always wanted to do was like voiceover act.
See, your coach could give you many facets
Yeah,
of who she is. Danielle, Danny, Danielle. You got different ones. That's it. You got
yeah,
different ones. Just depends on who you want. You want Coach Danny because you want Danielle going to tell you. So you should submit your resume. Danny gonna be like, don't date that. Don't date
right,
that. Why are you doing that, bro? Don't do. And I
right,
think that what I love so much about what you're doing is yes, you're focusing on women, but it's really for the betterment of the relationship as a whole. Like if I'm good and you're good, this relationship, even if we don't connect the way we think we should, we can
right.
we can depart and still be cool. It doesn't have to always be this angst of we didn't work, so now we can't even talk to each other. Like we can still be like, yo, it just didn't work out, but you cool peeps. Like find your person. I'm not her though. Don't make me block you.
Yeah, exactly. Like none of I can't say any of my relationships ended on good terms. Actually, no. Actually, not. No, they have not. Yeah, they all end up hating me and calling me crazy, and I was just like, yeah, I'm crazy because I found out what kind of person you are. I'm like, of course, because you want you once you find somebody that's not dumb, they know like what you up to. Of course, you're gonna say, "Oh, she's crazy and psycho." Yeah, because you don't want nobody else to date her, and then you don't want nobody to find out all the stuff that you've been doing. So you try
Mm.
to gaslight everybody. But I'm like, but it's okay. I'll be crazy and psycho. I'd rather be crazy and psycho than to be stupid and fall for anything and have low self-esteem and allow someone to run over me and tell me that I'm not worthy, and I know that I am. So
And you are worthy. And this conversation was so good. I told y'all, I said, listen, I put on my orange wig because she liked it last time, and I was like, "You gonna like my wig, okay?" Because
yeah,
it
it
be
was
hard. It's hard to meet a person who sees you and gets you. I'm like, I'm just a girl out here trying to make a $7 wig work. Like, don't. Don't bother me.
And it don't even look like it's $7. It's good quality.
But
Because you can,
Shein,
because
it's
I
that
think,
Shein. I can't
yeah,
afford Shein no more because the way the tariffs are gonna work out, I ain't gonna be able to afford it. But that's all I got. That's all. That's all.
well, it looks good. It looks good.
Thank you so much. I've had such a good time with you. Seriously, even if we connect back soon, but like in September when you drop your second book, like I want to know what's going on. I gotta go back. I follow you anyway. I was stalking you a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but it was because I was researching you. I was
Yeah.
researching you because I was like, she's cool peeps. I like this. I like this. Then we
Yeah.
found it. Then we follow each other on LinkedIn. I was like, we being professional over here. Oh man,
Right. Can't really say what we want to say, you know.
I'll
And
go
I
back.
do have a self-help book coming out. I actually signed with a publisher and it's called Conquer Your Fear, a guide to taking your power back. So that's
Nice.
gonna be my second self-help book, but the first one actually working with a publisher. So I'm hoping that it be out. My target date is July, so hopefully July of this year. And yeah, so that's gonna be the first like serious book. So it's talking about um how to conquer fear and like tackle it. And then I use a mix of psychology, like scripture in there as well. So
Mhm.
and some people may get turned off like, oh, it's like, scripture and Bible in there. But I'm all like, but it's not a Bible book. I don't look at it like that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, with me, I feel like therapy and prayer go hand in hand. Cause
Hmm.
like both of them serve the same purpose is you're trying to better yourself. They both are in the personal development realm, you know. So it's like, why not? And for the people who are spiritual, you got those scriptures for you. And for the people who are not, just more psychology based, then you got the psychology side, but they still go hand in hand. And so anybody can get it. Like, don't be turned off and be like, I can't get it because I'm not a Christian. And I was just like, you can get it because everybody has dealt with fear and everybody
Everybody.
has tried to figure
Everybody.
out how do you overcome fear? What is it? What's the root of it? I mean, I dig deep into it, like, yeah, all around because I dealt with fear all my life. And me writing this book, it was very therapeutic for me, because it helped me tackle some things that I was fearful of. We can be fearful of, and then I talk about the different types of fear too, using
Hmm.
so that way it could be relatable to everybody. And when I was telling the guy about it, uh, we were talking about the book last week, and he was like, I definitely see this being a bestseller. And then he emailed me a few days ago. He's like, this can definitely be a New York bestseller. Is one thing to be a bestseller in general, but to be a New York bestseller,
Hmm.
on a whole nother level. That mean that your face and your book gonna be on a billboard in Times Square.
You get
And
to act out. You get to act out.
right. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then they have a deal with they work with Barnes and Nobles. So I'm all like, just like Barnes and Nobles will reach out to you personally when it becomes a bestseller. I'm like, Barnes and Nobles, that's big. Oh, that's big. Oh my gosh. And as he's talking to me, like I started getting kind of choked up. But I was trying to like,
Thug
hold
it
it in.
out.
I
You
was
was
like,
trying to thug it out.
I'm a hold it. I ain't gonna cry. I ain't gonna cry.
Our generation gotta let it go. We be. I am not. You are. You're about to cry. We're at
But
that
I
age
did want to
now.
start crying the other day. Like when I was in a group at the Transformation Academy, they had a group and they was like, celebrate your wins. And they're like, what's your win? I'm like, well, I have a book coming out. And then I felt the
Mm.
tears coming. And I was just like, and I tried not to cry. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm so go ahead and cry. All right, fine. I'm gonna go ahead and cry anyway. And I just started boohooing, and I was just like, and it was like, it was,
Therapeutic.
yeah, it was very therapeutic because I started thinking about when I first became a writer and like when I was a spoken word artist and me selling my first book out the back of my car and trying to and lowballing myself and selling my books like bargaining with people. I give it to you for 10. I give it to you for 5. Here, just take it. I would have like this big box, 100 copies of my books,
Yeah.
trying to sell it to people and try to get formula for my son, and I'm all like, I think about those moments, and that's where I started getting really emotional. Like that first book, I remember I was self-publishing, and I was trying to get people to buy it, and no one wanted to buy my book. Nobody believed in me. But then here it is, like 10 years. December will be 10 years that I've been a self-published author, like author in general. And I'm like, 10 years later, now my book gets picked up, and someone tells me this is bestseller material. Like, we're gonna work at making this a bestseller. You're with the right team. And to go from no one wanting to buy your book to now seeing the whole world is gonna buy your book and it's gonna be flying off the shelves and you're doing book signings. And all I keep thinking is, all them people that didn't believe in me, they see that when they see I'm gonna have a picture, bam, Times Square, Danielle Duncan, conquer your fear. And I'm all like, take that.
And I'll be standing next to him up. Go on, girl. Go on, girl.
Right. I will be so excited because I'm like, that's gonna be the best revenge. I'm like, this is gonna be
success.
For every hater, every ex-boyfriend, every ex-friend, everybody that didn't believe in me, people who told me I need to shut up and be quiet. I can't. I remember one time I was in college and I was on the paper, and one of the editors told me my writing sucks. He was like, "You suck as a writer. Your writing is terrible." And I remember how that made me feel that day. And now I'm like, but I'm about to be a bestseller in the next couple of months. Clearly, somebody liked my writing. So
I had to learn a long time ago is sometimes people see your light and it's too bright for them. And they try to dim it because they don't want anybody else to see it.
Yeah.
And, and that's growth, right? That's us deciding like, all right, I heard what you said. But just so you know, I heard what you said. When I see you again, I'm going to still have heard what you said. It's going to look different. And sometimes it pushes us. It pushes us in a direction where we're like, I don't know who the hell he's talking to. Is anybody else in this room but us? Because it wasn't me. It wasn't me. But it's your time. It's your time. And you were supposed to be doing this and you're supposed to be talking to us and teaching us and us learning lessons. And, I think that all of these things that you are doing between hosting a podcast, 2 podcasts, coaching, going off in new creative directions, it is like becoming an author, being a mom, learning how to love yourself. Like all of those things is what makes a person. It's what makes you relatable. And I thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Yeah.
And connect with me because it means the world. It means that you felt safe, and that's literally my shtick. Come here, feel safe. If you don't feel safe, hang up on me. I'm good. Like I am one of those people. So thank you so much for being a part of the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. And now I'm very selective with podcasts I go on because at first I was just going on like my last book. I was just going any and everywhere just to promote myself. But then I got to a point where I'm like, my energy and my light does not belong everywhere because some people are not going to receive it. So I had to take a step back and be like, all right, I'm only going to do podcasts where I feel safe, that's aligned with my career, who I am as a person, like on every level. And so when people like want me to be on podcasts, I'm looking like, okay, does it align with my career and who I am and my values and so forth? If it does, it's going to be a good fit. It's going to be a good experience. But if it doesn't align, it's not going to be a good experience. So I have to learn that I want to be seen, but I want to be seen by my audience. Because
Yes.
everybody is not your audience, and that's one thing I had to learn over the years is that everybody's not your audience. Every platform you don't belong on. There are platforms for you. You just got to find the right ones, because you find the right ones, then you're going to find your tribe. You're going to
Yeah.
find your people, and that's something that I'm learning, as I go along. Like, okay, yeah, be very selective, go with who your target audience is. And this is definitely one of them. Like, out of all the podcasts I did, like, this is like right up there at the top. I think you might have moved up to number one. Like, I don't know what number everybody else was in, but I was like, but you right there at number one. I was like, I definitely want to come back again and again and again.
Please. I'm trying to figure out how I can get myself on your Monday podcast, because I'm like, we can talk about pop culture. I'm like, can we get a mocktail? I was just like, what you talking about? Tell me about the scene. What's
Right,
going
because
on
I'm
out
gonna
there?
take it all back. I'm gonna like in the 80s, the 90s, like people that you had crushes on, and
Look,
like,
I am in. Look, sign me up as a guest to come on and be nosy,
yeah.
because I posted a video today that said I was in the car listening to Somebody Else's Guy by Jocelyn Brown. And when you listen to that song, we was dancing. We was Tootsie rolling, shaking our shanks. But she
Yeah.
said, and then I realized that you are somebody else's guy. We was singing guy at the end like it wasn't a song about her having an affair with some. I said, yeah, I need this.
I didn't realize that either. Like, my mom used to always play that record, and I just be like, just like dancing.
Minute.
I didn't know that's what it was about. I was like, I just like the beat, and
I'ma
then
still dance to it. I'ma still
yeah,
dance to it because now it's embedded in there. But it was a question. I said, oh, mm,
you was
oh.
like, yeah, you were pretty talking about messing with somebody, man, and then we dancing off of it. It's like, I should feel bad about this, but I don't, because I ain't messing with them.
Yeah, that's
That's her. I ain't messing with.
said, you know what? I said, the older you get, you start looking back and being like, oh, I was really too young to dance to that song. I was,
Yeah,
as the black folk would say, fast. That's
yeah, just like Nasty Girl with Vanity Six. I had no business listening to that song. Even now as an adult, I feel like I shouldn't be listening to it still, even though I'm old enough.
mine was Juicy Fruit. I used to like that song. I can
Yeah.
be your lollipop. You can lick me any Juicy
Yeah, now
Fruit.
when you think about it, you gotta lick it, you like, what you mean lick me anywhere?
I'm like, I know what that mean now. Oh,
Yeah, but back then it just went over your head. You just like, hey, and it's like, oh, oh.
but I'm looking forward to the podcast, girl. I'm excited for you, and I'm so
Thank
proud
you.
of you because it takes a lot to stay resilient through all of this,
Yes,
you
it
know? And
does.
I can tell that you've been working on yourself, and that's so big because I think when you become a coach, you cannot become a coach for selfish reasons. You have to become a coach because you want to see other people win. You want to see other people celebrate and celebrate it.
Right,
And it has to come from a place where you've worked on your hurt, because you'll continue to pass your hurt on through your coaching if you don't
right.
do the right thing. So I am proud of you. We will stay connected. Look, that book you said, the 4th of May,
Yeah. April 4th,
April
Mr.
4th.
Saxman. Yeah. The Love Sessions When Poetry Comes to
Mm,
Life, Volume 1. And
okay.
that's volume.
Will you have a copy in hand by then? Or you
Yeah,
just
I
dropping
should
it
have a
on
copy
YouTube?
in hand. Yeah, I should have a copy in hand. Actually, it's available for pre-order right now on Amazon, in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover.
All right. Send me the link so we can put it inside the podcast,
Yes.
because that's how we gonna get you some money. So that
Right. So we need to make that bestseller too. Like, cause I got about 4 books coming out this year. All of them need to be bestsellers.
Yes, we do. We do. Because, she still got to pay fees on them bestsellers.
Right.
She got to feed her baby.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's an adult. Don't worry about that. We ain't talking about that right now.
Yeah. He a big 17-year-old baby, be 18, graduate from high school next year, but eat like a grown man.
Because he is. He
Yeah.
is.
But he don't gain no weight though. He about like this big.
It's what happens. Women, they say, I'm going to lose weight 6 years from now. I lost 2 pounds. Man burps 40
Right.
pounds smaller. Oh, wow. Wow. That's nice. Thank you. We appreciate it.
If
But
I look at food, I'm going to gain weight. I'm like, I'm going to gain 10 pounds looking at that croissant.
but I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Thank you so much for being part of the podcast. I can't wait for us to reconnect.
Yay. Me too. Yay.
It's going to be so good. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
All righty.
Okay, that was decent. That was decent. Guys, didn't I tell you she was so raw, so honest, so sweet? But man, at some point, you didn't even hear me in the podcast because I was laughing. Okay. And I was trying not to do that laugh because she was telling the truth, but my God, the honesty. She said, no, I do not want to date you. I don't want to have fries with you. I said, honey, not even French fries? No, I don't want to have fries with you. No nuggets, no nothing. I said, Tell them how it is, sis. Tell them how it is. I think when we are looking at what dating looks like, or we're thinking about what it looks like to be in an intimate relationship with someone, we forget that the more we love ourselves, the more we are in line with ourselves, the more we understand ourselves. And yes, you can date a person who helps you find some of the most valuable parts of who you are. They can highlight those things, but you still have to have an idea of what makes you you, because we tend to settle when we don't understand who we are, or when we're trying to live a life for somebody else. And that's not what we want to do. That's not why we're here. We're here to articulate our feelings, wants, needs, and desires so that we can better advocate for ourselves and the people that we love. And if we learn how to love ourselves, that confidence looks different, darling. And so does that dating. So, y'all be good. Lovely out. Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you found some healing, connection, and joy. Until next time, bye, loves.